Welcome to the P2 Power Play Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Wilson, alongside Tiago Cucci.
Vamos que vamos, Caíto.
Vamos! And today we have a very special guest, Francis Brink from the Brink Ahmed Immigration Law Firm. Welcome, Francis. How are you today?
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. Very well. Yeah, you guys are great. Love the energy and hoping to help out. Yeah, it's great.
Thank you for coming. I know you're going to introduce his law firm, but it's just to explain, like, he is my immigration lawyer from the very beginning, 7 years ago. So I'm very glad
you're
that
the
you're
lucky
here.
guy.
It's a journey. It's a journey. I tell people, you know, they always get scared when they hear big, big fees, big numbers. I'm like, we're getting married basically for 7 to 8 years. So it's you know,
correct.
Yeah, it's a journey. You start, you know, I met Tiago and he was a baby, you know.
He's grown up a lot.
I'm just 18 years old.
He got you on that one.
I was
That's
there
good.
to sign his birth certificate.
Ever
since then.
And how's he progressed since the beginning?
He's always been positive. You know, he's always had
Positive.
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, positivity is led to just good things rolling, and that jumped in his immigration case, his work, and you know, that's the key. That is really, I see a lot of very similar cases, you know, different things, but you got one grouch person who thinks the world's ending every day, and then you got one positive person, and they go two different ways, you know. So it's
And
I'm gonna start clicking already. Positive, be positive.
and there's good news with your case, right? Didn't you get something?
Yeah,
out
it's
of
the
it?
good news. I'm gonna keep this until the
Sorry,
end.
my bad. I didn't mean to ruin it.
But we want to introduce his law firm company, because that is one, like 4% of the companies have something that you have there.
Yeah, so his law firm is board certified, and only 4%, correct, have this special recognition.
Right.
And what does that actually mean?
It just means that you know, the Florida bar, which kind of governs all the attorneys in the state, they do a series. It's a comprehensive thing. They make you take a test, obviously, with very complex immigration situations, but they also take a survey. You have to get a certain amount of people who say that you're really good. Yeah. And it's not just clients; it's also colleagues, like other attorneys.
Oh, nice.
And also the amount of years. So even if you're, you know, a rocket, you know, really smart, but you've been doing it for a little time, they still want you to build that the time.
Of course,
you know.
yeah.
So all that goes into it, and then that's how you get it, and that's all.
So it's obviously prestigious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
only 4% had this prestigious.
Yeah, and I would say it's kind of like seeing a doctor. You go to your initial doctor, you need something more like a brain-related injury.
Yeah.
You need a specialist. You go to a brain doctor only. Right. So that's what we are kind of for immigration.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, people ask me why you pick, because there's a lot of Brazilians that they pick the easier way to pick a Brazilian lawyer. You know, I have a lot of lawyers, friends of me, famous lawyers, but I pick for myself this company. Why? One of the reasons is the 4% as well. They are very unique. Yeah. You know, like, and again, this is not advertising, but we can do it because he helped me a lot. But thank you once again. You know, like that was one day, one guy told me something that I never forgot about it. They were like, Thiago, it's like in Brazil, like if you have someone that is filling out the case being a Brazilian and the other guy being from a different country, do you think they're going to give priority to who? And I was like, I don't know if this is true or not. But I got this thing in my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick, you know. And we were trying to, we did a research and we found Francis, and my whole family is doing with him. Immigration is amazing. Again, thank you.
Now, I don't know a lot about immigration, so I might be off a little bit, but I do have a question. I've heard the bar test is ridiculous. Is it actually that bad?
Yeah. That's the, you know, around you graduate law school. It's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. You study for probably a good 4 to 6 months. Wow. But not just study. It's like nothing else in your life can nothing can happen. Yeah. Like at the time, I had a girlfriend who just broken up with me, which actually worked out. So I was kind of like, it was anger, but also like time, and I could study. And I turned it into, you know, just full focus on what you're doing, and you barely eat, and it's just such a large amount of information. Crazy. It's not just immigration; it's every law of your state, every field, and then you go for a 2-day exam in Tampa, and they test you on all of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here, the law in Brazil is 4 years. How many years is here?
School, the law is 3 years. Yep, 3 years of school. But I guess they would consider the bar another year. because you study
Oh,
for
it's a whole separate test.
It's after graduate from law school, then the bar is next. So,
and you can't practice until you pass that exam, right? Or the bar?
Right. Yeah. You can graduate law school and have a degree, but you can't practice law until you pass the bar.
That's funny.
Yeah.
This is the hardest part. In Brazil, they call OAB. OAB is the same thing. That the bar is very hard. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you know, but I did 2 years as a law firm there in Brazil, and I gave up.
Or like you worked as a law firm?
No. I studied.
Oh, you studied?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was reading Max Weber, all those books. And
so that's how you got into soccer. You couldn't make it as a lawyer.
Of course, I was like, I gotta give up, man. It's crazy. A lot of books, a lot of things.
Too much.
It's better have a friend that is a lawyer.
That can do it for you.
Of
help
course.
me out.
Yeah. There's always a moment where it's you find yourself your time better dedicated to what you're good at and get help with other things.
We need to have good friends.
Yeah.
So I have one good question here, and I think is one of the. I mean, there's a lot of friends that ask me a lot of things to ask you today. So one is we're gonna start with a fire question already. Okay, so how to become being illegal?
Oh, okay. Wait, you came in legal?
Like you came illegal, you don't have anything, you don't know anybody.
Illegal?
Illegal.
You came in illegal.
Yeah.
And you want to become legal.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not the ideal situation.
Correct.
So the goal is to come in legal and then always come in legal because again your options and how to fix it is you have many more options, When you come in illegally, you've cut out about 50-60% of what you can do.
Right.
Yeah, so it's hard to overcome.
Don't come illegal.
Yeah, don't come if you can't. I mean, if you can't, if you're really running from asylum or somebody who's going to kill your family. I mean, come. But if you have the option of applying for a tourist visa or student visa, try to do that and get in legally, and then fix things here because the rules are much more flexible once you're in legally.
Yeah, for example, I came as a student visa, and my visa expired. So I will become illegal, correct or no?
Well, yes, if you don't take a step to change to something else. Yeah, and that's another thing. With all the immigration steps, you gotta look ahead and figure out a plan B and know what to do. And then even if the worst case happens, you do fall out in status. Even then there's a plan because if you build up a certain amount of time out of status, there's penalties. But if you keep it within the time, there's no penalty. So I have a lot of clients who've tried everything and they're coming up on that 180 days of being out of status, and I tell them you have to go to your country because if you don't, you're going to get hit with a 10-year, 3-year bar when you try to come back. So but again, all that at least you have those options if you come in legally.
Like each country there is a limit of days to stay, or is because Brazil is 6 months as a tourist. Yeah. So
well the stays. The time you get, it really just depends on the visa. That's what determines. The tourist 6 months.
Normally 6 months.
Yep. Yeah, but it's not based on the country. The country would dictate the visa you have, but once you have the visa, that would dictate how much time you have.
And so what happens if you're illegal and you're here, and then police sees you, or you do a crime? You're going to be sent home?
No, not. I mean, hopefully, in that situation, it would be, how did you become illegal? Hopefully, you entered legally and you just fell out of status. But if you do a crime, chances are that law enforcement would contact ICE. ICE is the police and then they decide really who's going to take care of you basically.
Either ICE or police.
Yeah. But in the majority of people, I don't say majority, it really just depends. If the person has some form of, we call it relief, some way of staying, then they're more likely to maybe stay with the police, and the police will charge them like a normal criminal. But if they're here legally, nothing, no family, no, they have no way of staying, then ICE would usually take them because they know it's easier to deport them. And then if you deport them, you don't have to charge them and spend resources, charging with crimes and all that. So
it's crazy. Being like a Brazilian, what are the options that, for example, Brazilians to become legally? Because most of my friends are going to ask me, how can they become, not a citizen, to get a green card? So what are the options if they don't have money? So having money is easy. Yeah,
I like his laugh.
It's a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's a
so
little
with
easier.
no money, how can they do that?
Okay, no
What kind of
money.
It's a hard question to do.
Yeah. No money and easier usually are fly in separate directions. But there's every situation, there's no blanket solution. Every person with or without money, you always start. You have to figure out their history, figure out their equities, like what family do they have. Have they committed crimes in the past? In the old days, like you have to just evaluate each person, And I wish I could just say for Brazilians this, but it's really just
There's a lot of things.
each person is their own thing, and each has different factors, and they came in a different time, or some have dual nationality. That creates another.
That helps.
Yeah. So it's just a very specific to the person, review for every person.
What does a general timeline look like? So, like, if I wanted to get a green card and I didn't live here, and I was in Brazil and I went through the process, how long does it take? What do I have to do?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the type of green card. I mean, there's
different types of green cards.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
different. Well, in general, there's three big ones. There's family-based, like if you have a family member. There's employment-based, which is like an employer sponsors you. And then as of this couple of days ago, EB-5 is back now.
EB-5?
Yep, Congress reauthorized the EB-5 program.
Can you explain the EB-5? Like this?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's under the. Well, remember I said the employment and the family. Under employment, there's five. There's EB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. That's the investment option. So it's under employment, but it's more of an investment. But basically, you put a certain amount of money into either your own business or into a regional center that immigration has approved to accept foreigners' money.
Oh, the government, they have already projects.
Yeah.
If you want to jump on.
They're not government projects. They're private companies,
private.
but they got approval from the government to accept foreigners' money for investment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What is the amount right now? Because I remember it was 800,000.
Yeah, it's still around 800. It's just the fine print. It's just they're working out the final things, but there's some good things too that are in there that were not there before.
Oh no.
So, like before, and again, the investment. Just to kind of give you a little more on that, you put the money, you invest the money, and then it has to go into a project your own or a pre-approved, and then you just have to let it sit basically for a few years. It has to create some things, like it has to lead to at least 10 full-time jobs. So it's tough, which always leads me to kind of try to convince my clients to not do their own EB-5 in their own business because it's hard to. The immigration's business requirements and your own sometimes are going to collide. So that's why the regional center option is the one I recommend because it's like you give them the money and you say okay, and they do all the work. They have the employees they build, and those are like hotel. Orlando City Soccer was a regional center. They got funded by. So you forget about the money, and in a couple of years you get the money back. With interest?
Some, correct me if I'm wrong, but some of them, they still give you a percentage, a little return.
No, they do.
It's like stocks.
Yeah, it's not a huge return. It's not like other investments, but you do get something back. Typically 50, 60,000 in interest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I do have a question since we're talking about immigration. I don't know if this is true. I wanted to ask, what if you're an illegal and you marry somebody that's a resident or a citizen? How does that work? Yeah,
so marriage to a U.S. citizen.
Our meta media is asking us to be okay. Done. Thank you.
Oh, that's me. Okay, I'm the guest. I'm sorry, I'm the guest. So if again, it depends. If you came in legally and just overstayed and you're illegal that way, then you're fine. You could actually. That's one of the few ways to get your green card here. If you've fallen out of status, like you expect,
Does it go faster?
It's possible. I mean, that's really the faster. I mean, it's about a year. It's about a year.
Okay.
But if you entered even if you entered illegally, you cross the border and you get married to a U.S. citizen, even that process is pretty streamlined and they end up being successful. But you do have to go back. You'd have to go get your green card at the consulate instead of here
in your country.
Yeah. So that's the difference, like the entry, and that just is another reason why the entry is so critical.
Right, that's why you keep emphasizing. Come the right way.
Yeah, come the right if you can. Again, some people just can't, and that's understandable. But if the goal is to like. I hear people a lot of times plan for an illegal entry. I'm like,
Oh, my
stop.
goodness.
Plan for a legal one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of legal ones, and yes, you have to wait a little longer and plan, but it's worth it because you're going to have way more options.
Less rings you have to jump through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it's crazy. So,
but marriage to a U.S. citizen, it is considered the golden ticket. A lot of it for
you are a golden.
ticket.
the
You
golden
are
ticket.
golden, Kyle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a golden ticket, but it's got to be. Immigration does put you through some scrutiny with the marriage and make sure it's real. But
marry with the love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, love. It's not business. It's not business.
Yeah, because I heard that it's a big business on that. We're not gonna talk about that, but man, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's been crazy. So now we have one visa that you need to invest over $800,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a green card. It's a green card.
It's a green card.
Yeah, and EB-5. Yeah, 800. You forget about it. You forget it. You have to. People hate. When people invest their money, they want it to go to something they know. They feel like they can control.
Yeah.
So you got to get rid of that feeling, and pick one. Pick a good one. Obviously, there's regional centers that are better than others.
Yeah.
You look at their track record. How many years of green cards have they gotten?
Yeah.
You pick a good one. We help with that. We don't we're not business people. We don't tell you which one to pick, but we can tell you, hey, that one for 10 years in a row, everybody's gotten their green cards, and they're not criminals, and
because they don't have idea. You know, like the list. And a friend of mine, Ale, you watching us? So he did the process with him. EB-5, he invests 800,000, but I think a little bit more with the processing, all that thing. And he's waiting his green card right now.
It was stalled. He got stopped for all but now I've got to contact him. He's ready. Yeah, I got to call him.
Oh, nice.
I got good news for Ale. Ale.
Good news.
Shout out.
Stay tuned, Dally, coming fast.
Shave that beard. Shave that beard, Ale. You're coming.
As a company, how do you get on the regional center?
You apply to immigration. It's a big process. Yeah. You have to give them information about your area where you are. If it needs growth, you have to pay like a huge filing fee, and you get like an economist report from the state so it's
gruesome. Huh?
Yeah, it's gruesome. But if they approve you, you can get foreigners investments.
Yeah, Ale, a friend of mine, he invests in a hotel in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hotel I think is doing good, so he can get a percentage back.
And he gets a return on that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's basically you put the money in about a year and a half, you get your green card. So that's the first thing you get, and then 3 or 4 years after that, you get your capital back with the interest. So
And then do you keep the percentage, or they take the percentage?
No, you keep it. Yeah.
It's a good investment.
If it works, I guess
it works. And again, it's one of the safer ways to do it. It's just there's a stigma out there about anything with real estate. A lot of times it's like, oh God, what am I doing? Who's taking my money? I don't know them. But if you could pick a good one, you can have a trustworthy team, your attorney, your broker, everybody. It's one of, besides marriage to a U.S. citizen, it's one of the
authorized by the immigration.
Yeah. It has the fewest hurdles. Yeah. Investment, and the regional center does all the work, all the employees, boom, green card.
Yeah.
And if you come on a visa, so a student visa or something, how hard is it? What hoops do you have to go through to actually get a green card?
Mm-hmm. Well, you come with a student visa. Well, you finish. Ideally you would finish your school, graduate, and then when you graduate, you immigration will give you it's a 1-year work permit. It's called OPT, which is again given to you so you can transition to look for a job. And then there's a visa that is very common for graduates, F1 graduates, and then you could apply for that, or the employer would offer you the job. And then there's a visa for 7 years. It's called the H-1B, and if you get that, you're set. And then the same employer or another employer could sponsor you for a green card. So that's kind of
long
like the
process.
Yeah, that's the natural step. Or you don't have to go directly to. You don't have to do an H-1B, but the system is set up for people to transition from a student to a job, working to a green card. But you got to go through the steps.
How long can you be as a student with the student visa?
Typically, there's a lot of academic programs that are for years. Like I've had some for 4 or 5 years, but you can't go crazy and have like 10 years. There's no.
What if you want to be a doctor? Because that's like 8 years.
Yeah, as long as the school, has an international students department, they're authorizing something called an I-20, which lets you keep studying. Yeah, that's fine.
So this is the thing. Like, there's a lot of good ways to be legal, but when people try to come illegal, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
The doors closed for you. I don't know how people drive here. It's crazy, man. I was afraid when I was a student in driving. I had the drive license with me, but I was like, man, if someone get me.
Yeah.
I think the police here is a lot of respect that I feel here. When we compare with Brazil, I mean, unfortunately, over there's not a lot of respect. You know, I'm not going to talk about Brazil, but here I think people respect more the police, the immigration. I think is a really nice
the process of it.
Yeah,
because the police here is no joke, man. One day we didn't did the how you call arrow, like to turn to the right, turn signal, and they stop us and we're like, why you stop us? You were like, you didn't do the signal, you know, like just that. Just that. You get the fine right here.
Yeah, we were driving back from Georgia 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I told you, but Mitchell got stopped because we were driving a Nissan Armada. And the cop like came to the side, looked in the car, and he's sitting there looking at the car. Yeah, no, and there's a bunch of kids in the back, and they're not wearing their seatbelts. So he pulls us over. I didn't even know
wearing the seatbelt.
No, I was and Mitchell was, but the kids in the back didn't have them on. And so he pulls us over, and I thought, because I wasn't paying attention, but I thought he pulled us over. I thought it was like maybe he thought the car was stolen. And but he takes Mitchell out, and he's talking to him, and he's like, "You got to make sure the kids wear their seatbelt." But to your point, serious, you need to be following the law.
Yes. Now I'd say probably 90%. Because I get calls from immigration jail. Yeah. Somebody's detained. Their mom calls me crying. Go see my son. So we travel. There's an immigration jail in Jacksonville and there's one in Miami. And you go visit them, and almost all of them. I can't think of one situation where they were not in a car. But it always starts with a traffic stop. You know. So that's the first thing I tell people who are not legally here, like don't drive unless you need to, and if you do need to be in the car, then let somebody else drive. You just be a passenger.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah,
crazy.
And then some people just have to drive, and I try to give them a letter, just kind of something to keep in their glove box. Just, it doesn't really give them the right to drive, but it explains
why
kind of what maybe what their plan is for immigration. And I've had a few people let go from that. The officers like, okay, whatever. They're doing something. So
see, guys, go find Brinks.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a Band-Aid trying to, but
cover bleeding wounds.
Yeah, but there's always, you'll get, even if you're get arrested and you get a chance to fight your case, and that's another thing. Once we've talked about illegal people and being out of status. Once you're detained and in court, there's a whole different set of avenues or benefits that you could get in court that you can't get out of court.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, a few times I've been tempted to put somebody into deportation because, oh my God, they can do something there, but I don't. But you never do. You never put somebody into deportation. Yeah. But there's some nice options there. And then you have a judge who, a lot of the judges they have hearts. Sometimes, yeah, it's split. Half of them have hearts, half don't. But you have that more of that compassion element that you can use in court rather than with the government agent you'll never see.
So. The emotional side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We have a question here from Meta Media. How is the situation with the Venezuelan TPS? Yes, what is TPS?
TPS is temporary protected status. We were just talking about that for Ukrainians.
Okay,
yeah. It's something that the U.S. government offers for certain countries that are going through a bad thing, and it just allows them to stay. Even if they're here illegally, TPS is so broad, you could get it. But yes, it is available for Venezuelans.
And how is the situation? What do you mean? Like, how long is taking to get the document?
I think it just basically is it still up and going, and the answer is yes. And the key would just be your how long you've been physically here. But we have to look at that's really it just comes down to that. If you were here on a certain date and after, then you can do it. If you miss it by one day, you can't. So I can't recall the exact date. March. Yeah, I can look it up.
That's fine. Yeah, I think Ukraine was right now on the first.
Yep,
30. I heard in the news.
They just got it. Yep. And TPS is a good temporary way to stay.
But they can have work permit and everything.
Yeah. driver's license.
So how does it work? So somebody from Venezuela, Ukraine could just enter the United States illegally, right? And then they can get, how do they get the paperwork or whatever they need?
Well, usually they're here already. Okay. A lot of them are here already. They've been here for a while because they want to prevent a mass wave of people coming in. So it's really just to protect the people that are here that maybe they came on a tourist visa and now they're terrified to go back to TPS, you know? Yeah. So, but that's why the cutoff date, that's why they do the cutoff dates, because to prevent, you know, a
people,
huge flux
Otherwise,
of people.
they're going to say, hey, let's go there.
Let's go. We got 3 days.
Away.
Yeah, we got 3 days. That's the caravan that a couple years ago was supposed to come. Remember the caravan?
I'm curious, how does a situation like Ukraine, like if somebody wanted to come from Ukraine to the United States and they're fleeing an environment, or it doesn't have to be the United States, it could be France or whatever they want to go to next. How does that work? If they get to the country and then they get in, how does that actually work?
Well, it's kind of like the big brother of TPS, asylum. Okay. Asylum, which would be what you...
Asylum.
Yeah. But for us, you know, it's Mexico and Canada. So it's really you can apply for asylum at the border.
Okay.
So obviously people from Ukraine couldn't do asylum directly.
Yeah.
But if there's a Ukrainian who's here, they came as a tourist and they can't go back, they could apply for asylum. Yeah.
But you know how this is working? Like, for example, I'm coming from Ukraine. I go to the immigration. So over there they're gonna do the process, or they let you go and go find a lawyer. Or?
Well, they do different. Yeah, there's different ways they do. You can apply for it at the border. Sometimes they let you go. They let you go normally if you have somewhere to go. If you have like an address and they give you just a paper with your date, your court date, and you go on that date. Yeah. Nice. Sometimes once in a while they'll refuse you if they just don't find that you meet enough of the reasonable fear of returning to your country. But most people, if you have somewhere like Ukraine or somewhere they're going after everybody, I'm sure they'd let them in.
Especially nowadays with this situation, I think they are.
Yeah.
You can come. I don't know. So okay. So for the Brazilians, they have F1, which is the student. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Can the whole family get legally, like as for example, I'm married, I have 2 kids. So can my whole family come legally if I'm gonna come here to study? Or
the F1, the student is the principal, and then your dependents would be your spouse.
Okay.
From Brazil, just Brazilians, make sure you're legally married, not just the common law marriage. A lot of people in Brazil just never get officially married.
Correct.
So you need that, and then your children, 21 and under and unmarried, they can all join you.
Done. We have 1 clip.
And they're
really good.
They're F2s. They'd be F2s.
They come as a F2, but legal. They can. Can they go to the school? Use everything.
They can study. They can't work, but the F1 can't work either. But yeah, they can study legally, and they're directly tied to you. Your studies.
Okay.
And then you're directly tied to your courses and maintaining your courses, your class.
If you don't go to the school, you gotta go back to your country.
Yeah, if people think they think the visa is just the date in your passport. Oh, this is my visa. I have all this time, but it's tied to the actual activity. Like you have to study. Like if you start missing courses and the school kicks you out, it doesn't matter what your visa says. You could have 25 more years on your visa, but you're out of status.
If you don't have good grades.
Well, yeah, grades.
Yeah, I remember because the lady was like, "Thiago, you gotta get better on the grades." I'm like, "Okay." I study a lot because if you have a bad grades, they say bye. You're not eligible anymore. It's crazy.
I mean that's usually workable. I'm talking like usually it's just the people who just like come and like I'm not gonna study. I'm gonna fail all my courses, and then clearly it comes out as they just came. The tourist visa was just their ticket here, and it just doesn't work long term. You have to really want to study, at least for 1 year, which is usually the shortest program to get an F1.
No, I'm doing this on this way because people ask me a lot of things, so we're gonna solve all the questions, probably most of the questions now. So they have F1. After the F1, they can either do employment based. So you can do the college and someone can see you. Oh, I want to work with you. It's pretty much like that. Or they can do the EB5, which is $100,000 plus another fee. You gotta maybe save $1 million there. The other one. What is the other?
The
family as well.
Yeah, family. Yeah. It's you could separate it to 2 different ways to look at it. You have there's a short term solution. Okay, that's where the the student visa, the tourist visa. There's a whole bunch of other. I mean, they're
short
term, and then you long term, and you look at those two, and then within those two, you make a plan. Okay, this one, these short term options give me enough time to do the long term one I want to do. Because you don't want to just do any. You want to do the one you're most qualified for. Because they're all long and expensive, and you don't want to pick one just to pick one. You want to pick. All right, this is the best one for me. It fits me. And then you pick it, and then you pick the short-term one that gives you the time to wait for it here.
It's because people want the thing right away. When they call me, Thiago, can you give me advice? I was like, my friend, I'm not a lawyer. What is that? No, I want to have a green card. You think in 1 year I'm gonna get my green card? I'm like, my friend, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. Can someone be my sponsor? Can a company sponsor me? I'm like, my friend, I'm here for like over 7 years almost. I did it for anybody then.
Yeah. But that's a natural, that's a natural, everybody wants to come and they want to come and live here. So, I don't try to tell people, hey, stop feeling that, get rid of that warm and fuzzy feeling, of the, waving the flag with Statue of Liberty. They're all going to feel that. But what you do convince them of is to listen, I know you want that, but you got to trust me. It's not that easy.
Correct.
And just step by step, we do it together, and I'll guide you, And if they can just add that trust on there, they can do it. That you can get through it.
Just with time.
Yeah, time and trust. Time and trust.
Yeah. And a little more money as well.
Well, there's some things you can speed up. You can speed up, like, for example, some of the employment green cards. You can pay an extra fee and speed it up.
Oh, yeah.
So, and also with EB-5, and this is a huge speed up option that's brand new. That they may allow concurrent filing, like the petition. Because you remember before it was just the petition, you wait 1 year and a half, and then you apply for your green card. Yeah. Remember? Now they might let you do both together.
So we have all.
So, but which is huge because the green card application is a status. Yeah. And if you can do both together, and the green card, and you can stay. You don't have to wait that year and a half of waiting for the petition to be approved doesn't matter so much now.
And how about a green card to a citizen? How long does that take?
Oh, that's an easy just 5 year. 5 years. Yeah.
Jesus.
Unless you're married unless you got your green card through marriage to a citizen. That's 3 years.
If you get married with a citizen, how long does it take to be legal? Like it's automatically when you fill the document and
so if you marry a U.S. citizen marries a foreigner, you get the green card first. The green card's the first step they get. Depending on how long you were married would dictate how long the green card is. So if you're married for less than 2 years, you get a 2-year green card. If you're married for more than 2, you get a 10-year green card.
But someone that got, for example, I don't have document. I got married with this guy right here. It's not gonna happen. But so I got married with him. How many weeks or months I gonna wait until I be like legal?
Oh, it takes about legal or get your green card. Because legal. Okay, legal is pretty quickly because once you submit it to the government, you have a pending green card application. You can wait here. You're legal.
So like weeks.
Yeah, and that's why they changed that to EB-5. Now you can do that with EB-5 too. So you see that? Like you can add the green card application. Okay. So it's a quick. I tell people the first benefits are you're not deportable. You're not going to get deported once you file.
I think this is the first.
Yeah.
So once you sign that thing and it's submitted, you're safe.
Once the receipts come back, once the receipts are in your hands, you're not deportable. You can get a driver's license, and then you're legally allowed to wait here for the rest of the process to play out.
Gold is a gold right here.
That's why it's gold, man. That's why
I don't need you. I don't need you, my friend. So, Meta Media, guys, just to explain you guys can, vocês podem assistir esse podcast YouTube. Pelo YouTube em português, só trocar no settings caption, que é legenda, e colocar em português. Se tu quer assistir em espanhol, tu vai para settings e como que se chama, Siu? Verlo. Tu puedes verlo en español cambiando settings para español. Or if it's in English, you don't need to do anything. You can
just watch and enjoy.
Just watch and
enjoy.
Make
sure you guys like and hit the subscribe button. Please smash that button.
I see a lot of people watching but not subscribing.
Where they at? Yeah, where you at? Flies in the wall.
Where are the subscribers? I don't see them.
Yeah. So, what we can do right now.
Well, I do have a question because I'd like to know.
Yeah.
What about if we're like our company and we want to hire somebody that's international? How does that work?
Oh, well, you would.
Good question.
Yeah, you point out on the employer side, you point out a candidate who you want to hire, and you explore. The first question is how quickly do you want them, and then if it's pretty quick, you look at the visas, the short term. You find the best one that meets your company and also the employee's needs. And then a lot of employers want to start with that just to make sure that they're happy with this person before they go straight for the green card. But there's also green card options too that you evaluate that are a little bit different as far as what
does it mean short term?
Short term means not green card.
Yeah, but so, like less than a year?
No. It could be up to 7 years. Like the H-1B is the best example. Gotcha. It's like the worker petition or the worker visa, and you get 7 years. And most of the time, within that 7 years, the employer's like, okay, I like them, and then they go for the green card.
Okay, so short term just means it's not a permanent.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, permanent, permanent, and then short term.
So this was one of the projects that I was talking with Francis. So I'm trying together with Kyle and Francis, Dr. Francis, about having an interviewing someone like from Brazil or from Venezuela, Colombia, whatever, someone that we really want to hire because of their skills, to help us grow in the company. Can we do that, or
sure?
What should we do in order to start having those?
Yeah, if the first start is you have somebody in mind. Usually that's you do, and then you evaluate. There's a couple things to look at for the company. But there's not many. I mean, a decent sized company that's not in the negative should be fine for immigration. Okay. Then you look at the worker, their credentials, their work experience, their education, and then you find the best match. And you do the process.
We can interview. So, for example, these guys, pay attention on that. Siozito, click that. So we, High Soccer Holdings, we gonna try to hire someone.
Okay.
We don't know if it's American. We don't know if it's a Colombian, Brazilian, or we gonna open this position and we gonna hire. We're gonna have an interview. So we're gonna pay for their costs. So they're gonna come. They're gonna fly. We're gonna pay. But first of all, we're gonna do a process. Okay. So 10 months processing that we're going to check one by one to see who is eligible. And you're going to help us on that.
Sure.
Like checking if this person is eligible to get like a visa or whatever.
Yeah. Each person will look at the visa and also the green card options.
Okay.
So you can evaluate both.
Yeah, we definitely need.
Easy.
You see, you guys are asking me about jobs. So we're going to open for whoever is here first, because for us it's easier. If nobody will be the way that we want, we're going to open for Brazil, Venezuelan, Colombians. Everybody can participate. Okay, I don't know what is going to be the name of Living the Dream US.
Living the Dream. Okay. The American Dream.
Perfect. So we're going to do that, definitely. Having Francis taking care of the legal part is something that I really want to do, like give everybody a possibility to work here legally. Like definitely we need people to help us on the business. We are growing and we need someone that can help on this. And it's good to hear that we can do that.
We can.
So don't call me. Don't call Kyle.
No.
So stay alert. Stay tuned. We're going to do the process little by little, and we're going to start this project very soon.
Excellent. Yeah, be glad to help out. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Question, though, I'm very curious. What about like a big crisis? I know there's Ukraine right now, but like how did 9/11 change how you had to operate or how people were able to come to the country? Does that change a lot? Or
Yeah. Well, 9/11 created a whole agency of the immigration government. I mean, they created what was it, TSA?
TSA.
Yeah, they created the TSA. The ICE expand. I mean, there was a lot of talk about going a lot of progressives, Democrats wanted to go back to pre 9/11 because things have been okay. But yeah, that huge impact. Yeah, huge. I mean,
it's way harder right now.
Yeah. But no. Now it's good. Those things are still in place, but. I think it's good that they stay there. You never want to prevent even one of those things from happening. It's worth it. I mean, the immigration system is, you can still navigate it and get through, and it's mainly just to enter the country, and so it's okay. I haven't seen, other than more scrutiny, which is always, I guess, good. We want good people to come into the country, and you want them to go through a couple, rather than letting 12 hijackers get in with F1 student visas or however they came in. I'm not sure how they came in, but yeah, it's worth preventing. So.
And nowadays, after COVID, it's easier to get a green card. It's the same thing. The process is longer.
What COVID's done is just created delays. It's mainly abroad. It's all consulate. That's where COVID is hit. Yeah. Here in the U.S., COVID has actually created some advantages. They've given you like a 60-day late filing. You can file. Yeah. You've given you just on the paperwork you normally had to sign with an original pen, ink. Now they let you submit copies of
easier
original. Yeah, just all these little convenient things that they've created. So it's getting easier. It's been easier with COVID as far as in the U.S. But abroad it's not more difficult as far as getting approved. It's just the waiting, for the interviews and we've had to file a few lawsuits with federal courts forcing the consulates to schedule people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because they just and they don't get mad when you do it. All my clients are like, "Why are we going to sue them? We can't sue them. They're going to kill us." I'm like, "No. They like it. They actually appreciate it. They say thank you. We forgot about you. You were down in the closet in the bottom of the and they take action on it. And you do. And so they're very popular. Those mandamus lawsuits.
Yeah, I should do that. I applied from my sister. My sister is a citizen. And I think you remember I applied 7 years ago, and as a brother and sister takes a lot. I think I already wait 7 years.
Yeah, well,
I have another 6.
Well, that's a little that situation is you're waiting just because that's the lowest family category. There's a long wait.
It's a long wait.
The federal court there has to be an unreasonable. So you're still technically within the time frames that they gave for it. So it's so. I mean, it's
brothers and sisters takes too long.
Yeah, man. It does. But they presume that most brothers and sisters don't need each other, so, or they hate each other.
Only Tiago.
Only Tiago loves. Yeah,
I
got love.
my sisters.
Yeah.
But when I find out that was 14 years, I was like, I hate you. It could be easier.
In your situation, when it hit 20, that's when it would become unreasonable, and you could use that option.
Oh,
so, see what I'm saying? You have to exceed what the limits they set are.
Yeah.
How long does it take for?
How long does it take for the work permit to arrive for Venezuelans with TPS?
Opa, good question,
That media.
Yeah. Okay. So that the work permit arriving, it arrives in all different types of cases. But for TPS, I wouldn't say Venezuelans have a disadvantage for their work permit. Anybody with TPS, Haitians, now Ukrainians. Once you apply, it takes, again, you have to do your fingerprints first. I'd say a couple months, 3 to 6 months, about
3 to 6 months.
But again, that's another COVID impact is that is totally unpredictable. It could be faster, it could be longer. I used to give time estimates with confidence. Now I'm just like,
no, it's hard.
Yeah. I've had many people get their green card before they get their work permit.
If Amazon is getting delayed, my friend, you think immigration is not getting delayed?
But again, the work permit. Remember, the work permit. Yes, it comes in your hands. It's nice to have it, but the filing itself gives you protections. So these people that everybody thinks the work permit's like, I have to have it. Until then, I'm illegal. No, that's not the case. You want to always
file.
Yeah, file it. You get protections.
Nice.
And then even with the work permits, there's been more flexibility. A lot of them let you start the work even before the card comes. So we would check. Yeah, so we could, and there's been automatic extensions of work permits. So there's all types of discretionary things they've given.
So with receipt, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Venezuela.
I have to double check, but for Venezuela. But my point is don't delay your filing. Yeah. Okay. That's the point.
So I do have a question
Mm-hmm.
in regards to Homeland Security, because I remember one time when I was a kid, we were coming in probably from France or something, I don't remember where, and we got stopped. They checked my dad, something happened with my dad. We had to go to a back room somewhere. We're all like, what the is that something that you deal with?
This feeling is before you answer. This feeling is all Brazilians.
Oh, I'm
Venezuelan.
sure. But we were all sitting there like, what the what's going
For
on?
For Americans, different.
Yeah, we were like, this should be a breeze. You just walk through.
Yeah.
We're sitting, they pulled us to some back room. We're all sitting there going, what the
This is normal.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
that happens a lot. But the best advice I give people, it feels very personal. Feels like it's okay. They targeted me. It was me. They were mean to me. But the reality is, they do it to like a lot of people. So it's not.
What are they looking for? Because they didn't tell us. It's just, okay, you guys are good to go after like waiting an hour. Like, okay, you guys are good. We're like,
no,
we can't.
Coming from? Like,
we were coming from I don't remember where, but France, or I was a kid like 14.
Sometimes it's random. Sometimes it's
somebody.
every 10th person. They're going to put you back there and just give you a few more
the
questions.
standards maybe.
Yeah,
too.
and then that's probably what happened to you, because they surprisingly just said, okay, we're done. Like nothing. You didn't say anything to end it, or it just ended, right? Like
They didn't ask you anything?
I mean, I probably asked some questions. I don't really remember, but at the end they were just like, okay, go.
Yeah.
We're like, what?
Yeah. So it could be random. Could be.
I didn't know for Americans they do that.
Yeah.
This was a long time ago, but I'm just saying, I just remember that. Because every time I go through an airport, it never happened. But that one time, okay, all you guys go in the back room. We're like, what? For what?
Yeah. No, it happens. The key is that they let you in. Obviously, that's the key. But usually it's a very case specific issue. But just listen, take notes of what they're saying to you, and then there's so many different things that could happen. I mean, the problem would be if they turn you back, if they don't let you in. But if they question you and let you in, it's traumatic, because it's like, but you're fine. Yeah. You're good.
What happens in that case if you get turned away?
Yeah.
You turn away. Okay, that's where they don't believe that you're coming in with the intent to do whatever your visa is, and then that could lead to future problems. So, in that situation, call. Yeah, you need to talk to somebody.
But you're at the airport, so they've said, okay, you can't come in. What happens then?
They put you back on the plane. You go back.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, dude.
It's
Bye.
crazy.
Yeah, it's as simple as.
And this happened.
So
this
do
happened.
they make you pay for it, or they just say, okay,
No.
Pay for what?
for the flight back?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so. I've never heard that. Which somebody would have told me if like, hey, I have to go back, but do I have to pay for it? So no, I've never heard that.
So you would arrive to the airport, they say, okay, bye, and then you get back on the next plane out? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I have a person that I know, you know who it is, that tried to come, and she just, on the first flight, she returned to Brazil. And the parents were raiding them on the airport. They were like, no, you got to go back.
Okay.
If you don't follow the rules, my friend, here is. But can an American be denied to come to U.S., or by Constitution they?
No, I mean typically not, unless there's an arrest warrant out for you committed a crime, or typically Americans are let in.
And why?
That's why we were so confused that one day. We're like, what the hell?
Yeah, usually, but again, there's so many different.
Maybe your behavior with your parents and friends. Maybe they ask you to.
But that's weird that you're U.S. citizens coming back and they put you back there. They didn't say why.
I don't remember. I don't think so. I mean, they asked us questions about some stuff. I don't remember specifically, but it was just so weird that we got pulled out. Like, we were at the desk where you like get your thing stamped that you're coming back. They said, okay, you guys need to follow us here. We're like, what? Excuse us?
Maybe it's money. You were bringing a lot of money.
Maybe it was a country.
Maybe, I was a kid. I just remember.
Could have been money. Could have been, maybe you were in a country that had like a little breakout or something, or there's all types of weird. Weird,
crazy stuff that could happen that could screw you, huh?
Yeah. But U.S. citizens, that's even more rare. Yeah. So, that's a little, that's a little
For me, one day they stopped us and they were like, what do you have in this bag? And I was like, just some sprays, Glade, they want to smell better. They were like, okay, let me see. They opened the bag and was 11. They were, I think that the rule was like, you cannot bring more than 9 or 10. You have 11. I was like, okay, just take it out one. Put everything away.
Nice.
So you can't, because I understand after, realize the thing, but if you have more than 10, means that you pretend to sell the thing. 10 cell phones. Why you need 10 cell phones? So everything, I think, I don't know the number, but they have the limit number that you can bring more than that quantity. Otherwise, configures like
you're a dealer. You're a dealer.
But it's good. So I love this country. Thank you so much. So I want to talk about my immigration process.
What we got?
We have another one first.
Question. Let's say that I have a driver license that I got from the TPS and will expire soon. Is there any way that I can renew it?
Yeah. You can take if you're. First question would be, when does your work permit expire? Because when you say I got from TPS, the work permit itself is your TPS grant and shows your time. So the first question I would ask is, what's the expiration date on your work permit? Because that's your TPS. And then if it is within the time that you should renew it, you should renew it. renew it before it expires. And then if you take the receipt notice they give you when you renew and your expired card, then you can get a renewal of your driver's license. But it would just depend. I mean, if you, because the driver's license expiration normally matches the TPS expiration. Yeah. So,
this answer your question.
Yes, the answer is yes. You can renew it. Just look at your work permit. Make sure that you can renew it within 180 days before it expires. So go ahead and renew it, and then get the receipt, and then go to the DMV and get a license. Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong as well, but I think they give you because I already renewed 10 times my drive license. They give you the time for you to use the drive license according with your, for example, on a student visa I-20, or with now I'm in the process. So you have. If you fill the process, you have your processing date there. They're gonna give you exactly that date, so you cannot use more or less than
That's
all. I renew a lot of times already.
I do have one more question, then we can jump to your personal case because I
vamos.
feel like that's gonna be long.
Oh no, that's not.
So my question is, if I'm an American citizen, I want to leave and I want to go move to Bahamas or something. Is there anything that I could do beforehand to help set myself up, and what would that be?
Set yourself up. No, I mean you're free to go. U.S. citizens are free. I would just check with the Bahamas, make sure see if they require that you have some type of visa or something to let you stay there long term. Normally they don't care; they'll let you stay. But I would just check with them, and or just check the website or whatever. Make sure you have what you need to stay there long term for as long as you need.
Okay.
Where you make an escape?
No, I'm just picking an example. At some point, I figure at some point I'll move and go somewhere else. But I'm just wondering, is there anything I could do here to set myself up to be a permanent resident somewhere else?
Well, just like when people come here, they can check all the laws here and how to do it here. Same thing. It's usually a lot easier with other countries than here. But they do have their own laws and
with the American passport. There is any other country that we can live legally? Size of U.S.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Canada. No, Canada has visas.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Yeah, no.
But it's one of the most powerful passports.
I've never heard of a problem of a U.S. citizen going to a third country and having a problem, or not being able to do something to fix it very quickly. Yeah. So it's a.
That is countries that we don't need visa, like having an American.
Yeah, the UK, Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Canada.
No,
Americans do.
Yeah, it's called the visa waiver program, where you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, certain countries in the U.S. have a deal. We let you. They come in without a visa. They let us in without a visa.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about my process because it was a long process and it's still running. The process didn't finish yet, but I started as a student like probably 7 years ago, and now Dr. Francis just feel like 8 months ago, I think was one of the records in your office, but we did a petition for what is it? I forgot.
So it's under the employment, just in context, everything else we've talked about. It's under the employment-based green card, the second category, and then the subsection of that second category, which is the national interest. Usually you need Usually you need an employer. Under EB2, the traditional is employer. Yeah. But there's an exception if you show that it's in the national interests of the United States to have somebody like a Tiago.
Oh, claim that!
Like a Tiago.
Don't do his horn. You don't need that anymore.
You could show that there would be a benefit to waiving the normal employer and all the steps with that. Then you can get a green card directly through that. Through you petition yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of an employer, you do your own.
This is a highlight because you guys are part of it. Because after we help a lot of kids underprivileged, after we teach a lot of kids, after we open a lot of schools and help the community, what I did was I give all the papers for him and he showed the immigration, what we are doing, I'm doing here, for a long time. And they like what they saw.
They can consider everything. It's a very discretionary. Under other green cards, it's A, B, C, D. You got to meet it. But with under NIW and a couple other ones, they have discretion. If they feel like you're a well-rounded person, you can contribute. you already are contributing, they can waive the employer requirement and you get your green card.
Yeah, but was a big process because I had to prove my score, my MBA.
Yeah.
So if you have, it's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like master business.
If you have it, you're eligible basically. Like it's there is. I tell people it's like getting invited to a party. Like you got to get into the party, which means you have to have an advanced degree or it be exceptional ability in your field. So once you have one of those two things, they let you in the party, and then once you're in the party, that's where all the discretion and all the things they can look at.
Okay, so maybe we have one of the solutions as well. If you have a degree, and if you are different in your area, if you're doing,
how about an expert in your field? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So you may have chance. Yeah. This is what we are.
Yeah.
What are the areas that?
But it's one or the other. So I've had several who have had no degree. They have no education at all.
Oh,
But the exceptional ability criteria, you have to meet 3 of the 7, and they meet it, and they dropped out of high school. So it's exceptional ability and or advanced degree. So
you can get your green card with that.
So forget, degrees are important in education, but don't let it stop you if you don't. Oh, I don't have a bachelor's. I can't. No. There's other.
So what about like an athlete, like somebody coming in to play soccer or football? So they're coming from France and they got signed by Orlando City as an example.
Yeah.
How does that work?
There's athlete visas. Yeah. There's green cards, visas, same exact formula. The short term, the long term. Yeah. They have.
Can we apply for a coach?
Yeah. There's a coach under OP. You could do OP. It just depends on the coach.
Yeah.
Their credentials, how long they've been coaching. But with coaches, there's 3 or 4 different
categories.
Ones to look, or visa options. Like look at them based on the specific coach and see which one he fits.
For example, if we want to hire someone, can we do it?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
So how many green cards can a company can request, for example?
There's no limit. Yeah.
No?
There's no limit. Yeah. As long as you
they're going to call us a lot.
What about the cost? Isn't there a cost? Like, you said the company has to sponsor, right? So what does that actually cost?
There's some fees, like you have to do advertisements and it depends, $5,000-$10,000
per green card.
Yeah.
And we got to pay for them.
For the ads and the things like, the employer's supposed to. Yeah.
Forget about guys. don't call
But
us.
there's ways to do things and you can work things out. So.
Yeah, we can talk about it. If it's really good, I mean, we always need someone to work, but definitely the project of bringing an executive from Brazil, Brazil or Venezuela or Colombia, we're going to have this program very soon to hire someone. We're going to do like some steps that's going to take, we need to know the people. We want to hire someone that is really good, to help us growing the company here. And I think it's the opportunity for us to help someone that wants to live here legally, and having your company together with us on this partnership will be great. Sure. Okay, so we are about to finish.
Wait. Oh. I got one more question. I'm curious. I'm sure you got like a crazy story or something. Like, could you maybe give us, you don't have to say who it was, but something crazy that happened that you had to deal with?
Yeah, sure. I got I got a few, but I got one.
Best one.
Yeah, one random one. Wow. Yeah. So I had a client who was applying for an E2 investor visa. The investor, you put the money into you have to be from a treaty country, but you invest some money into a business and you get a visa. Well, that's a great option for a lot of people. But he got approved. Great, got approved. Everything was going good. He was doing it at the consulate, so he got scheduled for his interview. It was him and his wife and their kid, and they got scheduled. They went to their interview, and everything was fine as far as the business, the investment. It was the right amount. But at the interview, in front of his wife, they pulled up. Somehow they had access to his internet searches or what he was looking at in the United States.
No.
And it blew my mind that they would look into that. And then I started thinking, I'm like, holy. And then I started telling all my clients, like, hey, get off Google.
Get off Google.
Yeah, anything. And they gave him a printed list of the of the website, the URL websites.
Oh
that
my
he
God.
visited.
X videos.
Like it was just like a printout, and his wife was there.
Oh.
and so it was like a double destruction. You know,
It was her fault, maybe as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, blame the wife. Yeah, that works. Blame your wife. That works about 1%.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Did
immigration.
he get approved?
No. He got revoked. They revoked him. He was a.
I feel bad.
No.
Jesus
Here's
Christ.
what, how are you gonna do
Yeah.
that? How are you gonna watch the videos
So
now?
when he called you, what'd you say? You must have been like, what the?
No, it never happened to me. I reached out to like 30 or 40 people I knew, and like I got 400 years of attorneys' experiences to say that they never had that. So again, that's the craziest. It hasn't happened since. I never had a problem with.
Crazy.
But just be careful.
Okay, people here in the studio are nervous, but you are sitting already.
But this was some. It wasn't just regular, porn. It was like bad stuff, like kids, weird stuff, like criminal stuff, basically that he would. But
So don't delete. He was just deleted. You're good.
yeah. It's just the the idea that they could check that. They can check.
No,
That.
But he must have called you, right, and said, "Hey, they just."
Yeah.
And what was your reaction?
Oh, my reaction was
Yeah.
like, "What? Like what did you do?" And he's like, my reaction was just like, "Please hold." Like because most situations.
You didn't know what to do.
No, I'm like
Crazy. You got to think.
I'm sure it is a basis of denial because good moral character
Of course.
is always required for anything. So
You can't defend a guy like that as well. He gotta be in jail.
and it's probably criminal stuff too. So they couldn't let him back in. He might get charged with a crime.
So
I think the FBI was involved. So there was a crime.
So he was already here. Or
No, he'd been here with other visas, with tourist visas and all that, but he left to go get his E2, the more permanent one, come back, and they nailed him for all his searches when he was here as a tourist.
Oh, they nailed him here with the search.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, he was
God.
there, but he was searching here before he left.
Oh, and then they pulled it up. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and the FBI. So it must have been
Something crazy.
bad, but you guys were crazy, man.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's
you
one
hit the nail
time.
on the head with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That will
one-
never happen again, probably. Type
Yeah,
of thing.
one time.
Jesus.
Yeah. So be careful with your research.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to scare people out there, but again, it was the one time, and it was bad stuff. It was FBI. It was crimes. It was crazy.
But nowadays, with this question was good. Like nowadays, they are checking Instagram. Yeah, Instagram,
Oh, yeah.
Facebook. They are
Yeah.
asking
Yeah.
on the petition your
Yeah.
Instagram. Why? Because people, for example, in Brazil, they say, "Oh, bye." They say bye for everybody, but they don't have the visa to live here. Bye. I'm gonna live a different life.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But they are tourists.
That's one of the first things I tell my client. I'm like, don't get up anything you're tempted to do on Facebook on Insta. That's the first place they look.
Don't post it.
Yeah, the first place they look. They know that most people cannot help themselves, and they have to. They have to weigh getting approved for a visa and their desire to tell their friends. It's like just hold on. Don't any act that could conflict with your visa. Don't do it. Just relax.
Yeah. It's like buying a Ferrari. Don't post that you have a Ferrari.
Yeah.
People doesn't want that.
Yeah.
They want to show force on the internet.
Yeah, people
It's
give
crazy.
themselves away.
Yeah.
It's actually made immigration's jobs a lot easier. Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
People just give away their. They take pictures of them working when they have a visitor visa. Like, can't wait to go work. I had that happen.
Oh God.
Can't wait to go. Start my life working in the U.S. I'm like,
It's
There's that
crazy.
person shot.
yeah.
So be careful
Be
with
careful.
everything, guys. No, thank you so much.
No problem.
So that was a really good show. Definitely is not going to be the last one.
Nope.
Was just the first.
First.
But definitely we're going to do more.
I want to see some more
que-
crazy. Or I guess hear some more crazy stories. I bet you got plenty of them.
Well, not now.
Yeah, next time,
I gotta
next
be
time.
that one. That's the one my brain went straight to. But now I gotta.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I gotta think of. I got a few others. Yeah.
Oh, save that. Save
Yeah.
that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Siosito, thank you so much. Meta Media, sponsored by...
Our Play podcast is sponsored by Meta Media. Boom.
Boom. So once again, you can watch in Spanish, in Portuguese, in
English,
in any language. I think they have over 60 languages right there that you can watch.
And this was a really good episode. I mean,
Yeah.
even for me as an American citizen, I learned a lot. So if you're somebody that wants to come here,
Yeah.
definitely listen to this, pay attention, and a lot of
Yeah,
wise words shared.
Yeah.
If you want to say like
And
your
funny stories.
No.
congratulations.
Yeah. Everybody, next time we'll dive into more things, and
Yeah.
I'm glad to help and to help with your employee search and
What is your website and phone number?
Oh, my stuff. Yeah, website is www.brinkimmigration.com. We didn't add the other, so brinkimmigration.com, and phone number is 407-710. Wait, what's my number again? 710
We can put on the close.
710-0101. I know. Yeah. So that's the phone number.
Done. Or follow them on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Okay.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Bada bing,
Bada
bada
boom.
bing.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And see you on the next show.
We out.
Yes, Yosito.
See ya.
Out.
We are.
Bye.